introduce me or do?
Yeah.
No,
You just did it.
Yeah, we're live now.
That's
Welcome,
perfect.
Welcome back to the Two
couldn't have-
Monties.
That actually couldn't have gone any
I know.
better.
Self-introduction over in the corner by Cheryl. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, tell the people who you are.
Yeah.
Oh, my name's Cheryl Forbes. I'm a marriage celebrant, funeral celebrant, and a funeral director.
Yeah. What do you think about funeral directors?
Well,
Kingy?
I've come along. Yeah, I've come along today because Monty was quite a while ago on a podcast. Actually, it was a podcast where you were talking about that funeral crasher guy, which I just think is the most awesome idea.
Yeah, I'm still looking for anyone to pick me up for that.
You would be so good at that. But you were also very questioning a funeral director's integrity.
Well, not funeral directors individually, more so
The profession as a whole.
larger corporations. that are
Yeah,
involved.
and you know what? You are right. You've been right for a really long time. But
Don't tell him that.
Clip it.
hang on.
Clip it.
No.
Clip it.
No. Disclaimer.
You got to be quicker with
No,
the bar.
no. There's no disclaimer.
This is off to a great start.
You've been right for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, well, the industry's been like that for a very long time, but things have changed, and there's funeral directors out there that aren't like that. The old men in the grey suits that just tell you how the funeral's going to be. We're pushing
But that
them out.
still goes on, though.
It does still
But
go
you-
on.
So
It does.
you're
but
with,
there's options.
Are you with Pickaluna?
I'm with Pickaluna
Which
Funerals.
is I didn't know it existed, and it was probably Julie told me about it, and that it literally flipped the narrative on the whole funeral world.
Yeah.
Which it sounds very much like they do it the way it should be done.
Yeah, we
as
came in
opposed
and
to-
disrupted the industry
Yeah.
about 10 years ago, and we're still disrupting it, and
So how does
challenging
it-
the norms.
So instead of it, like I've never buried someone, so I don't really understand the process, but from
Oh, you don't necessarily need a process, mate. All you need is a shovel and a bit of a secluded location. A bit of lie.
but explain the old school versus
Well,
new.
the old school was, the funeral director has thought to himself, well, I've got time on Thursday afternoon to do this funeral, so that's when the funeral's going to be, and here's the chapel and the old chapel with the red carpet. And
So not a lot of options. It's just
Not a lot
cookie
of
cutter.
options.
Yeah.
No,
Which
Well-
I think was always because, I had to do it when my dad died. I was like 22 and I took care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And there's no, it's like, here's all these things, pick one of them, one of that.
Yeah.
And nobody generally is in a position of clear thinking.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
true.
I always felt it was a bit predatory.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. And that's my why as well, because when I was 33, I was helped plan Dad's funeral. And Dad had always said, put me in a cardboard box. They're going to burn me anyway.
Well, that's one of the things. They show you this wall of these coffins that are worth thousands, and you're like, hang on, I'm either dumping it in the ground or I'm going to set fire.
if
to
I'm
it.
going
What
to
are we
waste
doing
money,
here?
I'd rather play
Yeah.
the pokies.
Yeah, correct.
Well,
Yeah.
and I said to this
getting a
guy,
return
is there
at
such a
least.
thing as a cardboard coffin? Because
Yeah.
that's what Dad would have wanted. And he looked at me and said, do you not believe your father deserves a decent funeral?
Yeah, that's
And
that's
I was
outrageous.
like, don't
Yeah,
go
which-
there.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Justifying the bullshit expense because
Yeah.
a decent funeral doesn't come down to paying more money for
Exactly.
the box.
Yeah.
And
But-
so when I heard what Pickaluna were doing, I was like, I'm in.
Do they have a
because-
cardboard package?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Well, they are changing the game.
But, the fact that we give people options if they want, there's
Even
a
dropped off
coffin
by
out there
FedEx
that's
if you want.
can do what? You can do what?
FedEx can make the delivery.
Maybe. Well, the ashes, yeah.
Well, you wouldn't use Australia Post because they just throw the slip over and never fucking deliver it.
Yeah.
You'd have to go and pick it
I
up.
know your parcel would get lost. That'd be
Yeah.
a bit sad, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
So,
But we give people options, you
Yeah.
know, and it's like there's a $300,000 coffin out there, but there's also a cardboard coffin. There's also some nice budget, decent looking coffins for people that, kind of think that a cardboard coffin's a bit disrespectful.
So
but
more than just that as an option, it's more
Yeah. Where do you want to do it?
The person that does it.
Yes.
You're not just stitched up with some
No, it's
out of
like
touch
who's
old
the person?
grey suit wearing.
Yeah. Who's the person? What do they want? And actually, Monty, you referred a lovely woman to me who lost her partner, and we did the most amazing memorial on Nobby's Beach.
Yeah.
It was a sunrise memorial, and it was incredible. Like, they had 18 speakers that expressed love for him.
Jesus.
That's something that most funeral directors aren't going to let you do. And in a crematorium chapel, you're never going to get time to do that. But 16 people wanted to express their love for him. And it's too quick. And they fired a flaming arrow into the ocean, which was incredible. And they had some of his ashes in a confetti cannon with eco confetti that they fired off over the ocean.
She borrowed some whips off me to like a country send off.
They had,
Taught her how to crack a whip in the car park at the front of my place.
Yeah, right.
And it was so meaningful to him and so true to him. And that's what lights us up. You know, if someone wants the old traditional, so I shouldn't say the old traditional, can you wipe that bit? If someone wants the traditional funeral, we can do that as well. But, you know, someone that comes to us with creative ideas, it's like, how can we make that happen? Like, also, okay, that sounds really out there.
Probably a fair wedge of people that don't give a fuck what their funeral looks like because they didn't expect it was coming.
I've had a long...
So it's like the whole,
I've had a long-standing idea of faking my own death.
Just to see who...
Yeah. And just get up the back and just see who's there and what they say.
You watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah.
Where what's Chelsea Gina?
Yeah.
She rings gets whoever to ring the family. It's like, you should be crying, you stone cold bitch. And it's like, now ring my other grandma.
Yeah.
But there's the living wake now as well. I don't know if you watched the ABC Australian story the other night, James Valentine.
Oh yeah.
He actually had a living wake.
Did he?
Before he died, he had the party. And everyone came idea. And they all spoke.
I have talked about, I don't think I could do funerals, but I could potentially do wakes before you go.
Yeah, great. I love
that's just being a party host, mate.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you know.
Like, that's why it's not really a sidestep from anything that we're currently doing.
With all these options, and, you know, I'm not going to be around when you go, Monty, but, you know, I'm really inspired by your wedding, and I'm thinking that when your funeral happens, you're going to arrive the same way as you did at your wedding.
It's like, may as well have the excavator out to dig the hole anyway.
So first the excavator can dig the hole and then it can bring in the coffin. I just think, you know, that'd be so true to Monty, wouldn't it?
Well, I think it would be more fitting if I just got stuffed back into a closet when I go, so... Don't worry about the cardboard box.
I was going to say hanging on a post and put you out to frighten away the crows.
That sounds like something out of Vikings.
I'm Jesus. But no, just get a nice IKEA number.
Yeah.
Although that's not real fun for the family to have to do a flat pack, is it?
No.
That was another one of those reality TV shows. It was like an IKEA themed, Ninja Park thing.
Yeah, right.
To do flat packs and climb over them or something. Anyway, very good.
I saw a really good joke the other day on that theme. So apparently they still haven't been able to do the funeral for the guy that invented Tupperware because they can't find a lid that fits his coffin.
Please.
Come on, you can laugh a bit more than that.
I got another Tupperware joke, but it's not as tame as that.
I had another terrible joke. Go, you tell yours first.
Ursula Carlson. Yeah. You seen that one? She rings the family to say that her and her wife are having a baby, and the sister says, "Oh my God, is it a planned pregnancy? Like, or is it a surprise baby?" She goes, "Yeah, no, the dildo exploded. We're giving birth to Tupperware in 9 months."
Yeah. I love that.
What's yours?
Oh no, mine. Now that you've said that, I don't want to do it. There's a chiropractor at Whitebridge, quack. But they have a little chalkboard out the front that they occasionally put dumb jokes on, and it was why did the students call their teacher Turtle? Because he taught us.
Oh God!
Oh,
that's fucking. It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Roast on a chiropractor.
That's a dad joke.
Best man was chiropractor recently, and the roast was now. And the bride was a doctor.
Right.
So, of course.
An actual proper doctor.
Yeah, proper doctor. Yeah. So, of course, the beef is doctor, not doctor.
Of course it is.
So
well, because one's a trained medical professional and the other one's quack.
Yeah. So, I said, when you're on a plane next and they call over the loudspeaker for a doctor.
I need an adjustment.
When they call for a doctor, save yourself the embarrassment and don't put your hand up. Instead, turn to the dentist or the PhD student beside you because they're more of a doctor than you will ever be.
The bride said that? Or you said it?
I said that as the roast of this chiropractor.
That's excellent.
Because also dentists and PhDs, not doctors either. Yeah. No. And I say that not being any of the above.
No. But I'm not making any claims to cure anything either. Ooh. Anyway, speaking back to funerals, I'll be attending the Funeral Fix by Ollie and Yaz
fantastic.
Coming up in June.
And that's actually got funeral director training in it as well, funeral arranger training.
But I'm not doing that. I'm just
you don't want to align yourself.
No, I've heard about those directors. I don't want to, but no, that's just it's obviously.
I thought we addressed
It's
that.
just one. That's just one step, 2 steps. I'm going to the celebrant training day.
So gonna
That's a
throw
good
your hat in the ring for funerals.
Not enough people are getting married, but people won't stop dying.
And do you know what? Everyone is. I'm getting so many phone calls from local celebrants saying, "Hey, what do I have to do funerals?"
Yeah.
And
You
it's like,
and I talked about it a while ago,
we
but
did.
I wasn't
You only wanted to be a funeral celebrant. then.
And I wasn't quite there, and I felt like I'd probably needed to do something rather than just step into it. And I'd talk to Ollie a bit about
You
it.
do need to do the
Difference
course first.
between the two: funeral celebrant
You just turn up and do the thing.
and then director is organising the whole show.
Yeah, so the director organises all the logistics behind the scene, whereas the celebrant does the actual ceremony.
I don't have a
side
big-
of it.
At what point do you you don't dig the hole?
I was about to say I don't have a fridge big enough at home to be a director.
I forgot the kindling.
Yeah,
for this.
yeah.
I don't know of a funeral director that does actually. The cemetery does that.
Right.
So if it's a council cemetery, they'd have their contractors, or if
Yeah.
it's at
The
one of
times I've done it, I've made them dig their own hole.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a different.
Right on Yellowstone.
I've seen movies about it.
Yeah. So right.
It's more like, we're not morticians. We use an independent mortuary. So, they do all the mortician work and all that sort of stuff. So we organise the transport.
Is that the embalming and whatnot?
If they're embalmed, but a lot of people don't get embalmed these
Do they
days.
get mummied instead? Or does that not happen anymore?
I don't not since about 200 BC.
I've never had that request.
I wouldn't mind looking like Tutankhamun at the final product.
What you mean? You want the life sucked out of you?
Exactly.
Mind you, in saying that
might be the
shrouding,
cleverest thing I ever say. Clip that.
shrouding's making a comeback though. So people,
What is it, sorry?
Shrouding. So people want to be shrouded rather than in a coffin. So
What's that?
They're wrapped in cloth.
In a shroud.
Yeah, they're wrapped in
Put
cloth.
the pieces together, dickhead.
Yeah, but
So it's a so rather
like
than
a bit of cloth.
I'm thinking shroud like mechanical terms. I'm not thinking. I don't wear a
shroud
shroud.
is in mechanical terms. What I don't know what a
It's like
mechanical
a-
shroud is.
It's on the same wavelength as a flange and a shim.
No, it's,
yeah.
you know what? But you know what? It's essentially the same thing.
Okay,
It's a
I was
cover,
wrapping.
it's a cover for something else.
Okay.
So there might be a plug or something that has a shroud over top of it to protect
Right.
it. It's the same thing.
Okay, so
But not made out of high temp rubber, probably.
So New South Wales didn't allow shrouding before, and they're only just still trialling it in a few crematoriums.
Why would they not?
Also, how the
Well,
fuck
you
do you
can be
trial that?
shrouded,
Do
but
you
you
dig 'em
still
up in
have
a
to
few
be in a
weeks?
coffin. So New South Wales law is
Why?
that they have to be in a coffin.
Why?
Yeah, good question. That's why it's being trialled to do it
Yeah,
without
it
the
makes
coffin.
zero
So,
sense.
Yeah. So
Also,
often,
I mean, the Earth isn't getting any bigger, and
No.
if we've got a housing
Filling it up with
crisis,
coffins.
we're very soon going to have a cemetery crisis if there isn't already.
yeah.
So they're going to be able to stack a lot closer if you're shrouded, not boxed.
Yeah, the boxes aren't that much bigger than the
I guess you don't
person,
actually
though.
put two people on top of each other in a cemetery, do you?
I think you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Like a married couple or whatever might buy the same plot.
People buy a double plot or a triple plot.
Oh, well, there
Rack
you go.
and stack.
Yeah. That all happens. Yeah.
God.
What was I going? I was going to say something very clever then, and I
It's
forgot.
like you got to. You put mum on top of dad or dad on top of mum, because if he says no, then you go and ask
Well, and
mum. You go through her
And
to
if
ask
people
dad.
pass away in an unfortunate order that weren't, you might, let's say you might think it's probably dad, then mum, then whatever. But if there's an unfortunate situation, it might be like Jenga. You might have them in there and then you might have to pull one out. And put it on.
But back to shrouding and trialing it.
Yeah.
What do you mean trial?
Well,
Are you digging them up to see how it went?
Well, that's a fair question. That's a fair question.
I think it's pretty definitive.
We're talking about cremations as well as burials. So, but I think what their hesitation was, and still is a bit, is that because going into the crematory is a bit of a mechanical process, you're going across one of those roller things that they push the coffin in.
Sounds like they're looking for excuses to say
Well, they
no.
worry about the fabric getting caught up in the roller. But so in New South Wales, where we can have them, you've got to have a base. They've still got to be on a base so that the fabric can't get caught.
Holy shit, she's been scalped on the roller before she got crucified.
The shroud gets caught, and all of a sudden it's weekend at Bernie's. Jesus.
So yeah. Anyway, it's still being trialled in New
Isn't it
South
just
Wales.
like
It's-
what? How
It
could
sounds
they-
like an excuse not to do it.
It's just a bullshit reason. To be
bureaucracy.
like,
Look, it's all that all comes under New South Wales Health, like
Yeah,
burials and cremations.
Yeah,
come
but
under
surely
health.
that's just-
even
they
though
just
the
do-
health doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Surely this is all just stuff they've done because that's how it's always been done.
I'm loving
For no
this
other
episode.
reason.
I'm learning so much.
Exactly.
What do they get wrapped in? Is it like
It's
is
normally-
it religious or is it?
It can be a
Is it a
religious
fashion
thing. So there's
statement?
some religions that prefer shrouding, and for that reason, Macquarie Park, Memorial Park up here, they have a blanket permission to allow shrouding.
Blankets or
'Cause you-
shrouds?
Shrouded
Look,
permission.
a shroud could be a blanket. But because they've actually now been able to instigate a Muslim section there because Muslims are generally shrouded rather than coffins.
Yeah, right.
So they can give authority for shrouding to happen for a burial. And they also have a natural burial ground at Lake Macquarie as well, which is awesome. You look like you're waiting
No.
to say something.
Whatever it is, no. No.
No, I'm going to say it.
No. Just turn the
Even
camera
though
off
I'm
quick.
learning a lot here, it still doesn't actually make me think about. Like, I still don't give a flying fuck what happens to
No,
me.
of course not.
Like, it's not making me think. I wonder if I get shrouded or boxed
Yeah.
or
Couldn't give a
couldn't
tinker's
do
cuss.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, whatever happens, happens.
I would like to, if there's going to be an option, I'd like to be taxidermied and sat in the corner somewhere.
Actually, there is one thing I've always thought because I heard it once upon a time, and I don't think you can do it, but I would love to get put. Like I don't know where they do it.
I'm scared. I'm really
This is the
scared.
part where Lincoln and I normally start sweating.
It might be Sweden or Finland or somewhere like that.
That seems
anyway,
safe.
you get put into a tree, like you basically get
Like a seed pod.
you get put into the
Do they
into
do
the
that
root
here
ball of a
sometimes,
tree,
don't they?
and then you get planted, and then you become.
I've
part of
seen
the
that
tree.
advertised though. Does that happen here?
Well, not the actual body. There's a memorial park down in Victoria called Mornington Green. They've actually repatriated a golf course, or they're repatriating.
Is it
a golf
Mornington
course.
Mourn? Look at this guy go on fire.
Great point. But after someone's cremated, they actually treat the ashes so that they're not toxic, and they actually plant the ashes in the base of trees.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But not bodies yet.
Okay, but
Not
is
yet.
I have
thing-
seen that on
I've
somewhere. It
seen
is.
the
I've
pods,
definitely
yeah.
seen
And
it.
as a
It's
body.
shrouded
Yeah.
in a little thing, and they
Yeah, I've seen the pods that they do
Because
that.
if I had
Yeah.
one choice, it'd be that: get it, plant me on the farm.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Yeah, not here yet. But you could probably be buried on the farm.
I didn't even think that was an option.
Yeah, it is. It depends on the size of the farm. You have to get DA from
Well,
the
I just
local
do
council.
it. I've got Monty's Knob. That's my paddock. So I just get buried at the top of Monty's Knob. Pretty fitting.
You should be so lucky.
Yeah.
I got nothing with that.
Oh, well, there you go. But no, I wasn't going to say anything untoward about.
Good. No, about nothing.
Yeah.
Just move on.
Look, I think being buried on Monty's Knob is probably enough.
Not the conversation I thought I'd be having with Cheryl Forbes.
Start to break out a sweat.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
So,
Well-
no, but times have changed, and whatever you can think of, people that are listening to the podcast, if there's something
There's
that you
only
think,
four of them, it's
I would
fine.
really love to do that for Auntie Jean, whatever. Ask the funeral director if it's
Yeah.
possible. If they're not Pickaluna and they say no,
Well, actually,
come and ask
first-
someone else.
Pickaluna because
First,
they
you
may.
really got to go to Pickaluna because otherwise you can ask
this is
the
going to be the
director.
question I'm going to ask, right? So, and I
We
know
might
it's
get
changing
sponsored
because I've got a friend who works in the mortuary or whatever the word is, the political. I'd say morgue, but I don't think they say that at the John Hunter.
Oh, that's
And
the
she's-
morgue, yeah.
she's a counsellor there, so obviously deals with families as they come in and out.
Sorry, okay. That makes more
Yeah,
sense.
no, not with the deceased,
Fuck,
mate.
she's got a
so
slow
how
day.
are you feeling about this?
Slide the trolley
Easy
out.
job.
Reed. So, toe tag
Yeah.
number.
Yeah, happy as I've ever been. Tick,
Yeah.
next. No, but she's, funnily enough, talking about the funeral fix. So I said, I'm thinking about going and doing this course. And she said, is that with the fella with the curly hair and the glasses? And I go, yeah, that's him.
So who is it?
Ollie.
Ollie Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this friend of mine from the John Hunter, she was saying she's very much, and this comes back to what my question was going to be, but like she's into providing people with other options and like letting them know these other alternatives are
Yes.
out there. But I would imagine there's still, given that there's all this bullshit about, for example, the shrouding, that's how it is, that's how it's going to be with coffins, there would still be people in those positions in morgues.
Yeah, for your mate giving them the option.
Who go,
yeah.
and I won't say any name because I don't want to slag anyone off, but, that, whatever you call it, funeral home down the road here, who's been existing for the last 80 years, that's who you go and see. We'll send the body there, that's where it'll be.
Yeah.
Surely that happens a fair bit.
Look, it does happen sometimes.
So how do you disrupt that?
It's not meant to happen. It's not meant to happen. They're not meant to give referrals. And
is that right?
Yeah, and in saying that, when a friend of mine's father...
legally not supposed to, or morally?
I think probably both. But a friend of mine's father died in a regional area, and we were organising to bring his body back to Sydney for the service. And we had to pick him up from the local funeral home because they just sent him to the local funeral home instead of keeping them in their morgue, which should never happen.
Yeah, right.
Because there is a document.
They just assume that'll all happen.
But that's just how it's happened forever, and that's what they do.
No, well, there's a document that the family have to sign, giving permission for the funeral director to bring the person into their care. And they hadn't done that.
I'm saying that place... That's their standard operation.
Yeah, they just sent them to the funeral director, and that should never happen because nothing was signed to give them authority to collect the body.
So how does someone like yourself or someone from Pickaluna inject themselves into that process?
Well, it was a friend of mine.
No, I don't mean that specifically. I mean generally speaking.
Look, just people knowing about us, really. But, because they're not meant to.
Well, thank God for our podcast.
But,
there's another 5 people know about it tomorrow.
Another 5 people are going to know about Pickaluna.
And with a bit of luck, they'll be dead soon and you'll have a bit more work. See ya.
As long as they write down their wishes before
Ratings
they go.
Ratings have dropped, but Cheryl's never been busier.
Yeah, so that's...
so it's just more of a word of mouth thing.
It's a real word of mouth thing,
Right.
But, there are some of the hospitals here, the social workers will give people lists of the local funeral directors and, get them to call around.
Yeah. I feel like when my dad died, I don't think there was a lot of... It was, here's 2 places, which one do you want?
Yeah.
And then you walked in and they were like... Here's a folder. Pick that. Here's a wall full of coffins.
Exactly.
Pick one.
Exactly.
It's so like you said, no one's really of sound mind in that scenario.
No. And that's always been my argument.
I'd nearly argue that the percentage of the really old person had time to prepare for it, and yes, there were discussions.
Yeah.
Might be 10% of the funeral market.
Well, even if they're older people, like a lot of them, I'm sure, just. They're not prepared for it at all. They're just like, no, it won't be this week.
They won't talk about it, or their kids won't talk about it.
You'd think the majority is, the tragic kind of death where it's unexpected, it's a child, whatever.
Yeah.
All of those things. And it's like, you haven't.
That's when people aren't in their right.
Fully, you haven't thought about it once, especially a parent, because you never intend.
Yeah.
You never expect that you're going to be planning your kid's funeral or something. So then, they're not really looking at options. It's not like. You're going to go and that's Google
always
reviews for a barber.
That's always been my problem with it.
If somebody tells you go down the road, you'll just fucking go down the road.
That's right.
It will be the worst experience of your life, potentially. Yeah. Or if they had known about...
I think it's one of the reasons I've avoided... Because I've done a few funerals. But one of the reasons I avoided it was kind of this feeling of being a bit insensitive. Like, obviously, when we're doing weddings, you get to know the people a bit.
Yeah.
You can kind of speak to them because you got to know them. And then my problem's been at funerals, like, and the example I'm going to give is a mate of mine that we talked about some years ago that died. So he was only not 50 yet, I don't think. But he, staunch atheist, like, as they come, died in the wall.
Wouldn't he get hungry?
Yeah. And that's what knocked him off. And then at his service... old mate, he got up and did the Lord's Prayer. And I'm standing there looking around at our mates going, the fuck is going on here? Like, this is... He'll come out of that box in about 2 seconds. He'll launch himself. And it was just... It's like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
And it's just like the not knowing kind of thing. And I'm like,
But see, that's where you'd make a great funeral crasher, Monty, because then you just stand up and say, stop with the prayers.
Don't worry, it nearly happened.
Hell no.
It was pretty close.
Oh, shit. Lost it. Keep going.
Oh, very good.
You leave that in, Lincoln.
Why? That's every
and then Monty
episode.
said nothing.
Yeah.
No, but seriously,
I got it.
I'm going to be serious just for a second. One of the greatest gifts that you can give your friends and family is to let them know what you want for your funeral, because it just makes it so much easier for them when
Yeah,
the time
yeah.
comes.
I can think of
to
so
know
many
what
other
your
things
wishes
I
were.
want.
Anyway, hopefully I haven't distracted from your thought.
And not that I do funerals. And
Did you have a proper question?
I do. Two
Jesus.
things. I was very grateful that I could refer that friend to you, because she then had, great feedback. As great.
She's so lovely.
It was a shitty day for everyone, but also she didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
And now she does.
Yeah.
And it's kind of was a very
Yes.
best of the worst sort of. Anyway, the other thing, how do you feel about charging people for that service?
Yeah.
Because I married a friend who's terminally ill, and could never have charged them.
Yes.
Because, and it's so fucking sad but beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
Funeral, even sadder, even harder.
Yeah.
But also it is business. It's a service.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it. The whole thing.
True.
So definitely not shit canning, but also how do you
Sounds dangerously close to it.
how do you kind of if it's a
Yeah.
complete stranger would be a bit easier to
Yeah.
differentiate.
Fleece them.
But do you still if you've got friends that you're doing
If
the
I've
funeral
got
for?
friends, I generally don't charge
Yeah,
for the
there you go.
celebrancy
So
side of
same as
things.
weddings sort of
I
thing.
still charge the if I'm the
Organising,
funeral director as well, I
logistics.
still charge the planning fee.
Yeah.
But for good friends,
Yeah.
I don't tend to charge the celebrant fee, because how could you?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's like, and if they're not close friends, like if they're acquaintances, I might charge them less or something like that. But it's the worst time of their life, It's,
Yeah.
And what in terms of fees, again, you say that the coffins are worth shitloads of money.
Yeah.
People are probably sold into it by the traditional directors that
Yeah.
that's where you spend your money,
Yeah.
and you spend fuck all on a celebrant.
correct.
Whereas obviously no one is going to remember the box they were in or what it looked like, but they
But
are
they'll
going to
remember the ceremony.
if somebody
Yeah.
did the Lord's Prayer at an atheist funeral.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or so you've told that story, haven't you, about you kept referring to the deceased as Tom, but it was actually Brad, and then
No, not
then he
me.
said,
Yeah.
"Now come up and do the,
Yeah,
invite
that's
his
the
brother
worst.
up," and he said, "I'm fucking Tom."
Oh,
He's
no,
Brad.
that's
You
not
should know
me.
about that.
No, it wasn't me.
Oh, somebody's told me this.
Thank God.
No.
That's,
Like
that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And someone is in the wedding world.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, but just completely that's what people are going to remember.
Yeah.
And if you paid a couple $100 for a shit celebrant.
Yeah, and you put a lot of
Yeah.
work into it. Like, we generally charge more. I'm not going to talk about what fees are, but we generally
please
charge
do. I
more.
wanna know.
No, we generally charge more because we do put a lot more work
Yeah.
into it and a lot more thought
Well,
into it.
we could make the same argument for
Yeah.
Our weddings.
wedding celebration.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I kind of do think sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Also, if anyone came to me after a wedding and said, "I think that was a fucking waste of money," I give them the money back.
Oh.
But it's never happened, and so you don't feel like you're
Yeah,
charging the
no.
ass out of them, because it's one of those things. If that's what they value and
Yeah.
prioritize in their day,
Yeah.
that's where they will put the money.
Exactly.
And then the feedback is, would have paid more. Would it, just if they love it, then it all
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
But if same thing, if you completely botched it and someone's whatever, then I think everyone's human. You'd say, well, fuck. I'll
That's
give you the
also
money.
been
Yeah.
part of my hesitation is
What if you do? Hit
if
the
I
wrong
fuck up in a
note?
wedding, I'm pretty good at
and statistically,
skipping over it and
Yeah, yeah.
making a joke about
Yeah,
moving on with my life.
I'll have another one or two.
Exactly.
That'll be right.
But
Yeah.
obviously at a funeral, it's the worst day of somebody's life.
Oh, yeah.
And to
That
make a
would
blue
just-
is
Yeah.
it would just be the worst.
Yeah.
It's my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
To get it wrong.
Yeah.
And But one of the reasons I don't charge friends as well is because I may very well cry, and if I do a friend's funeral, I always start with, so-and-so was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And so just letting you know, I may get emotional at times, and that's why,
Yeah.
because generally with someone who's employed me to be their celebrant, I'm not getting emotional.
you're
It's not
detached
my
slightly.
grief.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take that on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, you obviously emotionally more stable than me, because I would get
I
don't think
thought
could
I'd
do
be
it.
like that before I started. I cry at tissue commercials, and I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to hold it together during funerals? But you just do. You just do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when's your
Oh, it's at the start of June. I should really look it up so that I can give it a proper plug for Ollie. But
Yeah, I think it's around the middle of June, isn't it? I think it's around my birthday.
are you going to the
No,
cock party
early.
this year?
no.
No, neither. Anyway, cock party's on in Melbourne.
I want to say it's
Tuesday, 2nd of June. Tickets are online. It's a really good
actually-
industry event.
Is it around
No,
got a
I
bit
thought
on
it was
this
at the
year.
start. He's actually sent me the thing that I need to use a link to sign into. So
Anyone who's thinking of becoming a funeral celebrant, I really do recommend the Funeral Fix. I mean, I know
no, you're
so
right,
many
the
people
15th.
that have done it.
The 15th of
Yeah,
June.
go
So
on.
the funeral celebrant course is on the 15th of June. Director course on the 16th of June in person at QT in Sydney. But as you said, and that's part of the reason I'm looking at it again now, is it's obviously weddings are, people are a little more gun shy of spending a bit of money at the moment, I think. I don't know whether less people are getting money. It's weird. People with money have still got money.
Yeah.
People with heaps of money don't give a shit. But there's less of those people, I think. And
whenever you think you've cracked the code, then a cashed up
shut-
bogan will just blow them all out of the water.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
think, where the
yeah.
fuck did you come from?
yeah.
Everyone else has said no,
Yeah.
and now you're saying,
Yeah.
didn't expect that. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a little bit controversial here, though, Monty. I'm
We
going to
don't
challenge
normally
you a
do
little
that.
bit
No,
here
this is
because
pretty
it's like
tame.
if your only reason for getting into funerals is because the weddings are
the only
quiet,
reason I get out of-
it's not the right reason to be getting.
It's the only reason I get out of bed of a morning to do anything. if there wasn't some sort of financial pressure to do anything, I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Just saying, for anyone else that's listening to this podcast, it's not the best reason to start being a funeral celebrant. It's all
Oh, no,
about the money.
it's really the death that entices me.
Well, I
It's
don't
the,
think,
it's the
you'll
death and the
probably-
sorrow
you'll
that I
probably
feed
cut
on.
that
I
bit
don't
out,
think
but-
you can.
No, that won't get cut out.
I don't think I'd bank on the extension on your house getting funded from Cheryl's referrals.
No, listen, I only rent a house, mate. Some of us only rent. We don't have multiple properties. So when we get buried, one will be in the $300,000 coffin, take up all the room, and I'll be in a plastic bag somewhere.
Plastic bag.
Yeah. Aldi reusable bag.
Got to like the Aldi special buys. You could probably actually. I wonder when they're going to do
Yeah,
a
that
coffin.
wouldn't surprise
That'd
me.
be-
Centre
I think
Island Aldi.
Costco do
No,
coffins.
they used to.
Yeah.
They,
Oh, they
apparently they
don't
don't
know?
anymore.
Oh, right. I
I've
went
heard
in
that
there
they
and saw
don't,
them when they
but-
first
An
opened.
IKEA, you got to build it yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd love to
how we
see the
going?
Aldi special buy.
We're on? Yeah.
30.
Cool.
All right, well, pick a Luna. If you're planning on dying anytime soon, give them a buzz and they'll sort it out for you.
Yeah.
And tell them that it came from this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how
Yeah,
that'll help them.
there's a 15%. No,
We'll let
there's
the,
not. There's
we'll
no
let the
discount.
boys know.
I
Yeah,
missed
use
it.
code Monty at checkout
I
for an
actually
extra.
missed the crowdfunding thing for Pick a Luna, which I was a bit upset about because I was quite happy to throw $50 into that. But
Yeah.
anyway,
What crowdfunding?
there was a...
Oh, they
There
were
was
yeah, they were doing a bit of a revenue raise. It wasn't crowdfunding. It was a bit of a. They were raising some revenue.
What? I don't know.
Oh,
What,
selling shares. They sold
Yeah,
shares.
sold shares.
Yeah.
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 They listed on the market and sold
Yeah,
shares.
right. That's what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. I don't... Yeah.
Yeah.
That just led me to my next point, but we'll do that next week. Thanks for watching. See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries.
I didn't think
No,
Cheryl would
no
say.
worries.